Travis Wayne Goodsell. In the 1981 version of the triple combination, Elder Bruce R. McConkie was the one responsible, for which we can blame him, for putting in the chapter headings and all of the chapters. In Alma chapter 12, Bruce adds a word, and it's not found in the chapter, but Bruce R. McConkie is still correct, because he definitely understood the context that was being spoken of here. As Alma chapter 32 does also include the word, but just not in this particular context. And it's still Alma and Amulek, so it's the same people talking about the same doctrinal subject matter. So here's the chapter heading. Alma contends with Zeezrom. The mysteries of God can be given only to the faithful. Men are judged by, here it is, their thoughts, beliefs. That's the added word. Words and works. The wicked shall suffer a spiritual death. This mortal life is a probationary state. The plan of redemption brings to pass the resurrection and, through faith, a remission of sins. The repentant have a claim on mercy through the only begotten Son. And then he screws it up and puts about 82 BC. The first year of the reign of King Zedekiah is 597. The church, however, puts about 600. Oops. Because the church doesn't want to deal with the controversy of how there could be a sign in the heavens in 4 AD. Not that topic for this video. I've done it before. You'll have to search through all of the thousands upon thousands of hours to find the pearl of great price. Oh, I got a sneeze coming on. So, Mormons have beliefs, don't you, Mormons? Here's Bruce R. McConkie saying we can judge those beliefs. How? How can we judge a person's thoughts, their beliefs, their words, and Bruce R. McConkie is only putting one work. There's both the verb, which is an action work, and then there's the completed work, which is a noun. An artistic work, a work of art, you go to work. I am working. Yeah, there's two definitions for works. And so both of them should have been put in here. And so to clarify it, he should have added actions. And so it's this whole process that can be judged. And how can it be judged? By the finished product. The finished product will tell you if the actions you took, if the words you spoke, if your belief systems, if your thoughts were correct, or if they were pure evil. Oh no, Mormonism just became hard. You thought you could believe whatever you wanted to, didn't you? And nobody could judge you. Oops, right here in your own keystone. And so, in a trial, you are allowed as a defendant, if you're being accused, so Mormons, you're being accused of crime and sin and insurrection and murder. And so you've got to defend yourself. You need a witness or witnesses. Now, if you have more witnesses than the plaintiff, does that mean you automatically win? No. Witnesses are not just so that they can make claims from beliefs. Just speak words. Oh, yeah, the defendant is innocent. I'm their best friend. I grew up with them. I know them. They're good. I got a little bit of the new cutie on Be Positive on CBS. I just recognized where I got that accent from. She's the one who's donating her kidney to a guy she hasn't seen since high school. So, hilarious show. And quite a moving one at that. As they discuss the concept of love in a situation where you don't want to be positive. And so the witnesses aren't really necessary. Why? Isn't it out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established? What is witness? Well, a witness is somebody who has physically experienced something with any or all of their 5 senses. There is no room for a 6th sense. I see dead people in the courtroom, because you cannot present any evidence. Witnesses are to corroborate the evidence, either for or against someone. That's how they're used. You don't just get somebody up there to say, he's guilty, I know he's guilty, I feel it with every fiber of my being. Oops. Get him out of the courtroom. Contempt of court. And so witnesses are supposed to speak to the evidence that have been presented. Okay, Mormons, I know you're all sweating. Maybe some of you have wet your pants already. Moroni, chapter 10, verses 4 through 5. Do or do not. There is no try. Yoda from episode, did they call it 5? Because they put some other stuff like Rogue whatever in there, and then Han Solo's in between. The Empire Strikes Back that I knew it as. Now when ye shall receive these things, the words from the Book of Mormon, the keystone of Mormonism, they're either true, when they talk about how to identify a religion and a religious leader who's practicing priestcraft and who's murdering to enforce priestcraft. You're able to identify the great and abominable church. You're able to identify the secret Gadianton band with their secret signs and their secret covenants of murder. Of course, good thing that we aren't born in Brigham Young's day, to go through his temple endowment covenants. Death to America. So now we can all deny it. Oh, no, we don't want to destroy America. We're protecting America by storming the Capitol and working with Russia. Oh, dear God. I would exhort you that you would ask God, the Eternal Father, in the name of Christ, if these things are not true. Okay, so you're now supposed to pray about it. You know, the read, ponder, pray. And it says you have to be sincere. You know, you can't be in a seance and go, oh, this is hokey, this is never going to happen. Shh. You're not going to, the spirits aren't going to come if you're being... I was in a Mormon seance. Not in it, I was observing. And the woman who was leading it, it was at Rick's. Dumb kids. He will... Oh, Toby, you've abandoned me. He will manifest the truth. Well, I guess that's the still small voice, isn't it? Oh, wait, we don't call it the still small voice anymore, right? Because that means we're crazy. We've got a mental illness, right? It's so we call it a feeling. But they still call us mentally ill if we say it's a feeling, because now we have bipolar disorder instead of schizophrenia. Which to choose? Psychology doesn't really want us to be religious. Manifest. You can shove it down the psychologist's throat. Because the word from the Holy Ghost, ta-da! It's just a word. It's not a completed work. Now, Holy Ghost has completed it, and thus they tell you. But we don't know that. They could be a liar, liar, pants on fire, false prophet, a wolf in sheep's clothing. We have to identify if that schizophrenic or bipolar feeling thought in our head is actually true, or if we're dozing off into cuckoo land. We have to manifest it. Oh dear God, what do we do, Travis? How do we manifest all these things in the church? Dear God, have you never read your Book of Mormon? Alma, chapter 32, starting in verse 28. Oh look, it's the science of agriculture. Who would have thought religion and science were supposed to be one? Now we will compare the word unto a seed. Well, we're getting scientific here. Oh, Travis, I don't want to get into deep doctrine. I just want to focus on the basics like faith. I need more Yoda quotes. How many of you have gotten your baby Yoda already? Now, if ye give place, that a seed may be planted in your heart, which means you believe the word. If it be a true seed, or a good seed. If the word is true, not a lie, if you do not cast it out by your unbelief. What are you doing to my words, Mormons? Uh-oh! SpaghettiOs! that you resist the Spirit of the Lord. You have not experimented with the Mormon word. How then are you sure that my word is wrong? I'm using the Book of Mormon. Where are you getting your words from? Now behold, would not this increase your faith? Faith is belief. It's the same word, comes from the Greek pistos. In our incorrectly translated text of the King James Version, it says faith. Correctly translated, it's the same as belief, just as long as you understand they're not separate. Faith is not some spiritual higher thing than belief. Thus, everything in life is through this process. There's not a difference between religious faith and regular belief. Yes, it will increase your faith if you begin to feel things inside your bosom. But you don't know yet. It could be that alien that's going to pop out of your body as a tumor. Did you know a child is technically considered a tumor? Nevertheless, it is not grown up unto a perfect knowledge. You have no knowledge. All you know is that you're having feelings. Nothing more than feelings. Trying to forget your feelings of love. Feelings? Whoa, 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 feelings. I can't even put a little tiny sound clip of that because the YouTube employees have already targeted me for flagging it. And so it gets banned in the UK. Or so, I don't think it's UK. I think it's like Sweden or Switzerland or something like that. Some little island or something. But they put a little warning on my account. YouTube becomes a law unto themselves, and they need to be brought down and humbled. But behold, as the seed swelleth, sprouteth, beginneth to grow, you must say, hey, it seems to be good. But you don't know. If it's wheat that you've planted, or somebody claiming that it's wheat, tares look exactly like wheat until the finished product, the completed work. Thus, by their works ye shall judge them, know them. And so you have to finish the work. You have to make it manifest. And so, yes, it goes on and talks about this process of producing the fruit. Now you know. You know this seed, this one word, this one claim, this one statement. You now know this one statement is true because you yourself have manifested it. You have found out that your good old buddy, the still small voice feeling, is legitimate, and you can shove it down the throat of a psychologist like John Dehlin. Because John Dehlin is also a liar, pants on fire. He ran and hid because he was upset that I was exposing him as a cult leader. When you lie to people, and you get people to follow you, and you get people to pay you money, you become a cult leader. Hopefully, it's not till death do us part, as in many other cult groups have done before. That's why we don't drink the Kool-Aid. because a false prophet will lead you to your death. That's why this basic precept in the keystone of Mormonism is so essential, because of the latter days. There will be many false prophets, false Christs, antichrists, who will try to deceive even the elect, if possible. So now, let's get into the psychological realm again. Stanley Smith Stevens, Mormon from Utah. Spent his adult life in Colorado, though, but born and raised in Utah, Ogden, I believe. He became a psychologist during the World War II era, so you know he's got some problems. He was the one who created what had previously been used in science with the manifestation of things, taxonomy. He applied that principle into psychology. It's called dichotomous and non-dichotomous categorization. Dichotomous categorization is one or the other, black or white, right or wrong, good or bad, dichotomous. The non-dichotomous is spectrum of categories. So we've seen this in our lives. In government, we have two main parties, Democrat and GOP. And then we have subcategories, progressives, deep state Dems, Tea Party, neo-Nazis, MAGAs. This was all because of Stanley Smith Stevens. It had been used and done before because The Art of War talks about this tactic, divide and conquer. See, this isn't in the realm of science. This is now in the realm of beliefs, where you keep people from finding out or manifesting the truth, which would be through science processes. And you categorize people according to their beliefs. This is psychology. So the non-dichotomous subcategories are the varying beliefs under either of the two dichotomies. And so you've probably heard of a thing called spectrum disorders. This is where they got it from, guys. This is the fraud. This is what John DeLynn is educated in. This is why I'm warning you about him. It's not just about exposing the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who does the same thing also, just on the other dichotomy. They're both perpetuating the same incorrect belief system. You may have also heard of this concept being talked about with beliefs put into a box in your mind, that you process experiences in life according to the boxes you create for it. So, for example, in the matters of love, a guy sees a girl and she's the most beautiful creature on the face of the earth. And you go up to talk to her, and she gets mad at you and says, "Leave me alone, you creep." Slaps you in the face and runs away, calling, "Help! Help! Help!" if you, as the boy, are so blinded with your beliefs, you're saying, she loves me. She just needs to get to know me better. I need to get in her life more. I need to start stalking her. I mean, protecting her. To see how everything goes into the realm of, oh my God, separate them. Gotta keep them separated. But why is the little red-headed girl so mean to me? You know, the guide has no clue that she may have been victimized. And so she's still trying to recover. She's still traumatized. She's not ready to get back into the dating game and the friendship game because she does not trust men yet. There are so many reasons that lead to other reasons. But that's another problem, is that when you do have a manifestation, you only have a manifestation of the one guy who victimized you. You do not have a manifestation of all men generally. But, as men are designed in our DNA, and thus we are called men, yes, you will notice a lot of similar outward appearances, outward symptoms. And you need to be able to distinguish the difference. However, I digress. Sort of. So let's now put Mormonism on trial. The current Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints makes a number of claims about the origin story of supersmiths. And Mormons can't just tell critics to prove their criticism. That's incorrect thinking. That's called a fallacy. The church are the prime claimers. It's the church who has to manifest their claim. They first. Show me yours, I'll show you mine. And please don't get scared, laugh, and run away. Still have Castle on my mind. With Naked Punishment and Naked Twister. Oh, hilarious. I feel like I want to watch more Castle. Just like when I finished NCIS. I want more NCIS. Where is it? I gotta have more. I'm addicted. What about the Pakistani? Michael J. Fox and his movie where he's a doctor. So, she showed him hers. Alright. And so, it's wrong to criticize critics of the church even when the criticism is wrong. Take that, Oaks. And so, yeah, if you're a Mormon and you're telling people Joseph Smith physically saw Jesus and Heavenly Father and that Jesus spoke to him without the Holy Ghost, without the temple washings and anointings and passing through the veil, so that you can enter into the presence of God and see Him face to face and live. you better expect critics to ask you questions. And if you tell them, oh, you can't ask us questions, you can't judge us for our beliefs. We're a religion, we have religious freedom, you haven't been in our shoes, you don't know me. Those arguments don't hold water. You have to provide proof. The church claims that Joseph Smith translated by the gift and power of God by looking at a rock, one rock, in a hat. You have to defend that. Church, technically. But as Mormons, you're supposed to do the same process for finding out if the church you've been born and raised in is true or not. As you can tell, I did it. And it's shocking you, because as a Mormon, you're going, I'm conflicted. You're saying Joseph Smith is true, but you're saying all these weird things that we've never heard of before and we don't believe, and therefore it must be wrong. We're going to stick with the fantasy world, the myth of Joseph Smith. Because the church also says Joseph Smith raped a 14-year-old girl. Because God told him she was supposed to be his polygamous wife. And it was practiced in secret, so that nobody else knew about it. Shh, this will be our little secret. Why didn't she have a baby? Was it just a spiritual wife? Was he able to control himself? Or did it not happen at all? That Oliver Cowdery was just upset that Joseph Smith was not being his bestest buddy and was being a bestest buddy with Sidney Rigdon. Do you even understand that conflict? Do you even know why it would happen? Do you even know their roles with the founding of the church? Why would Joseph Smith instantly elevate Sidney Rigdon when he joins in December of 1830 to be his bestest buddy and right-hand man? All of you who are ex-Mormon and who have found certain things out know that the author of the Book of Mormon is the reason. But Oliver Cowdery was in on the whole process too. Not David Whitmer. David Whitmer was just a in-law to the Cowdery. His sister was a little cutie pie for Cowdery. And thus the witnesses were all family. And I exposed that one. It's the first video in my newly created playlist, Book of Mormon Witnesses Scandal, something like that. But it's in the playlist listing on the homepage. So, yeah. The witness statements were sort of put in the back of the book, and with a certain addition, which then puts into question the edition that we currently have, which the church is claiming is the original edition. Yeah, because Brigham Young wanted to change the Book of Mormon. Joseph Smith read it as he went and did it without Joseph's permission, and Joseph read it and said, no, put it back. Bad Brigham. Judas Brigham. And so it was put back to the original, and then Joseph was murdered. I wonder who would have murdered him. Who would have had motive? Because all these TV shows require motive to make it an interesting story. As the villain confesses in the last 5 minutes of the show, oh, this was my motive. Oh, no. You don't need motive in a court of law. You just need the evidence. Here's the person on camera breaking into the safe. Here's him taking out the contents in the safe. Here's him shooting a guard. You know, sort of like that Capitol thing on the 6th of January. They were even able to identify where they came from. You know, your cell phones. Yeah, they gave them up. And so in the trial, if you saw it, they showed everybody's cell phone identification blue mark. They were at Trump's rally. And then this mass all went right to the Capitol. They knew exactly whose phone was whose and identified them and confirmed it with their own video coverage of it on their cell phones. Yeah, the most brilliant people in the world. Evidence manifested. And so, oh, it was Antifa. Yeah. Well, I guess they're now calling MAGA Antifa, because it was only the Antifa who were at Trump's rally. So there was nobody who loved Trump. It was a conspiracy. They were all Democrats at Trump's rally, chanting, "We're gonna get them. We're gonna hang Mike Pence." It was the Democrats. Yeah, the little MAGA girl was a Democrat who was going to sell Nancy Pelosi's computer laptop to the Russians. Oh dear God. And Republicans think this is just funny to lie. Yep, lie. Yeah. You can't prove it. That's not proof. That's not me. That's a deep fake video. That's an altered picture. It's not a mushroom. So, oh dear God. So yeah, I can go on with the church's claims. You're going to hear a whole bunch of those same repeated claims that are lies in conference in 1 month. Huh. And you know that you've been brainwashed when you quote the beliefs of other people. That's what brainwashing is. That's psychology. They're out to brainwash you. John Dehlin is purposely trying to brainwash ex-Mormons, just as the church have brainwashed Mormons. And so as ex-Mormons leave the church, they still carry the brainwashing system with them. That's why they're so susceptible and vulnerable to an evil man like John Dehlin. Yes, I did just call him an evil man. You can help by telling him, because he won't respond to me anymore. I gave him an out. I said, if you are not trying to do this, as I pointed out to him, you are educated and trained to groom. So if you are not intentionally grooming your followers, we can work together against the church. He never responded. So that tells me he is purposely grooming you. And then he went and got one of those other new psychologies that are emerging. Did the two-parter for her. Shall we find out? We're at 40 minutes. Are you still here? Are you upset that I'm not bashing the church anymore, that I'm now going after the ex-Mormon prophets? Hello? Hello? Come on. It's taking forever. Pisses me off. Windows, you suck. Google, you suck. But again, if somebody is lying to you, you don't want to follow them. When you follow them, you create a cult leader out of them. Because they now control you. They're lying to you. I'm not lying to you. Have you noticed? I don't want people to follow me. I want people to find out the truth. That's why I only tell you the truth. I'm not asking you for money. I will never ask you for money. There was a desperate time where I did for my lawsuit against the church. But, who are... The war on men. She's cute. But I'm concerned she's going to slap me in the face. But I do need to write this down for later. Whoa, wait a minute, we got another one here. Oh, heavens. What are you doing, YouTube? They can never get this correct. See, they know my computer system because when I'm not signed in, yep, oh my goodness. I need to check that one out. There's mine, only 43 after 16 hours. To build or not to build, that is the question that the church is not even bothering to ask. Alright, so Mormon Stories podcast? Huh? Tom Phillips. Oh gee. He got a former Scientology executive. God. He set it all up. Okay, so yeah, it's showing here, but you can't trust these numbers. Forcing me to... No, we'll do that, and then that. QAnon. Ooh, helping Mormons who believe in QAnon. Wow. Cult expert. I'm correcting John DeLyn's videos for you. This guy he tells you the bad of the other, but is bad himself for what he's trying to lead you into. That's the whole evil of psychology. So, yeah, her first one got 9.4K. And then her second one, 3.3K. So, people didn't care about listening to her any further. And then, only 3.9K for Mormon QAnon. And then 4.2K and 4.6K. But 4.6K in 19 hours. Dear God. Yeah, because this is a distraction for Mormons. Oh, we can listen to this because it's against Scientology. 10K for John Gee, the Mormon embarrassment. And so, yeah, you can see how popular this John Dehlin guy is in brainwashing. These are the numbers of people who've been brainwashed. And so, dear God, let's compare with one whom I'm okay with. Oh, yeah, she's not as... Oh, whoa. Nope. She's bigger than John Dehlin. Well done, girl. Exmo Lex. So, 18 hours ago, 2.1K. We've heard this story, dear. 1 week ago, 6.2K. 2 weeks ago, 5.2K. 4 weeks ago, 7.9K. Where was the 40K? There was a 40K. Here's 15K. How many people left Mormonism in 2020? 41K. There it is. LDS, the church crossed a line. Mormon in reaction to latest apostolic message. Yeah. So yeah, she got him with the cross the line title. Here's an 11K. Responding to Mormon hate comments, the TikTok edition. So, yeah. Yep. She's cute. Has her experiences. She did the one with her husband where they put on the temple robes. She now stays away from me. In the beginning, she would respond with comments or a little love thing, but yeah, not anymore. But she's not educated like John Dehlin is to brainwash people. She literally is going upon her experiences in the Mormon Church. And so she's a little more reliable, even though she doesn't understand the big picture like I do. So, yeah, Zelf on the Shelf, for example. I mean, the guy was born and raised Mormon, but left marrying his little honey Zelf. I did a video about how she was wearing her garment marking. Her t-shirt. So yeah, I mean, Zelf on the Shelf crew, they don't know. Exmo Lex is more knowledgeable in Mormonism than they are. It's just he was a male in the church, she was female in the church. So, I mean, you know, it's perfectly fine to expose what happened to you. Just be careful when you go into realms that you do not know and you perpetuate other people's information. You do not know they're correct or not. Jeremy Reynolds in the CES letter. He claims it's questions. Jeremy, I did the video exposing you. You were a naughty boy. He was exposing as truth the claims by critics. And so the church bullied him and excommunicated him for it. But the church has never answered any of the questions by critics. They just won't. Nope, we're not going to tell you the truth. You can't prove it. We don't have to prove it. You're making the claim. So I hope that helps explain things. There's another It's Me Jessie. She's sort of slowed down now. She's given up on Mormons, but she started her whole YouTube channel for the sole purpose of presenting what she was learning about the church. And she claims she knows how to do research. And so, yeah, she gave up on me too, even though I was trying to help her. All these ex-Mormon women slapping me in the face and running away, screaming help. She wanted to know more about Sidney Rigdon, because she was sure there was going to be something exposing the church as corrupt and fraudulent. And I did. And she didn't like the information. Yeah, because she wanted the whole thing to be bad. She didn't want the Smiths to be actually good guys. Brigham Young being bad was not enough. Alrighty. So yeah, the Mormon Church has been found guilty and are hereby punished for eternity. How do we implement the punishment? That's the question.